Hello, and welcome to the video. Today, I'm going to be reviewing pens. In this video, I'm going to show you my whole pen collection, which, I have a bunch of pens from all kinds of different places that I picked up at job fairs, or club fairs, or college fairs, and I just wanted to show you some of the pens that I have. I will note I don't endorse any of these companies, and the thoughts and my reflection of their pens is not a reflection of my opinion of the organization on the pen. It's purely a design analysis. So, let's get started with a pretty generic Bic pen. I won't always have something to say about every pen, but I will note that this pen's grip travels the entire length of the body of the pen, all the way up to here. Very unusual. This pen is one of the widest at the very end here. Almost feels like I'm writing with a dry erase marker, or perhaps a highlighter. I'm not a fan of very large pens. Now this is a fun one. This is a syringe-shaped pen. There is a catch and release mechanism that you don't usually see in a pen. Very creative. You push down the plunger to extend the tip, which then acts as the needle of the syringe, and you press this button to release it. Very nice pen. I will note this pen is a little unusual because its widest point is after the grip of the pen. Usually, a pen will have a wider grip, will widen near the front to prevent your hand from slipping down the pen as you write. This pen, however, has a reverse design, where the pen gets wider the further back it goes. There's something to note. This pen has an interesting design where the tip of the pen is usually tapered to the ballpoint at the end, but this is in fact a straight edge all the way across. Let me grab the previous pen to show you the difference. So you can see this one Comes down and has a conical section at the end, whereas this one is cylindrical. This is a very nice pen. Twist action, and it's an asymmetric twist action with the shorter piece being the non-writing end. Very nice click action, and very clean design with this cool gray color and a yellow band differentiating the two sections. This is my first person as a pen. Is a pen that is meant to look like a person by adding a face to the clicking side and something that resembles hair, in this case a feather. However, to make the feather stand up, there is a solid section in the middle, which makes clicking rather difficult. Besides that, it is a very average pen. Now this is a very nice pen. This is a metal pen. One of the first and very few in my collection. Metal pens are more expensive for companies to buy, and so when they buy promotional pens, they usually default to a plastic pen, which are generally lighter in the hand, and a lighter pen usually feels cheaper, feels flimsier. So having a nice solid metal pen really does mean something. Now this is a very unusual design of pen. Nice, strong click action, very powerful. But you may notice the tip. It's this very odd design in which the clip passes through the body of the pen. This is quite a unique design. I believe this is the only pen in my collection to move the clip through the body of the pen and then attach it to the clicking side at the end. Let me know if you've ever seen a pen that can do this. Next, we have a pair of pens. They're from different places, and I got them separately, but they are both maze pens. This is a great gift for a child. I had a lot of fun with these. You try to get the ball bearings in the pen all to get to the same side. Usually there are two, right? 1, 2. And then in this green pen, we have one on the left and one all the way on the right. Which, there we go. I can show you here. I was rather disappointed, however, to see that these are the exact same maze. The company which produces these pens makes the same maze every single time. So, when you've seen one, you've seen them all. As you can tell, oh, it's off screen. Now you can see it. These are the exact same pattern, repeated for 2 different pens. It's rather disappointing, but so is the way of the world. This pen has a very unusual grip. These holes in it. Hopefully folks with trypophobia, I believe it is called, are not watching this video. I should note this pen also has a cylindrical tip, not a conical tip, And the back of the pen has these slits in it, which allow you to see directly into the center of the pen. However, because of this black color scheme, it is very hard to make out what's happening, but you can very slightly see the ink cartridge moving up and down with each click. This is a classic Bic pen. You may have gotten one as a child. It sports 4 different color varieties within the same pen. It's a very useful pen, quite small, very effective. This style of pen is one of my least favorites. It is a very large pen. Makes me feel like I'm writing with a marker. The clicking action has some friction to it. It's not very solid. If you can see here, the tip of the pen has in fact bled a little ink. And overall, it is a very light pen made of plastic, which makes it feel quite flimsy and very cheap. Aesthetically, it is not pleasing. It has this sort of boxy design, and overall, this is one of my least favorite pens. This pen has a very nice feature. It has a good clicking action. It's a very solid pen, Pilot G2, whatever that is. But one of the things I really like about this pen, and you'll see I have a couple other pens that have this same design choice. The tip of the pen sports a smaller ball bearing and comes to a sharper point. This may be hard to see on the camera, but between these two pens, this one comes to a sharper point. I see the camera is not focusing in well. Ah well. But it is roughly half the size of your standard ball bearing, and it feels as though this pen will cut through the page as you write. It draws a very fine line. It has an amazing feel as you write with that pen. We should have more pens with sharp tips like that one. This pen has a very nice grip. It is some kind of plastic silicone grip. However, it has a very nice feel, and it has this stippled pattern of diamonds going all the way through. A rotated grid. But it has a very nice feel to it, and I appreciate well-designed grips such as this one. This pen is very nice. I like the grip on this pen. Small grip, but a good design to it. This pen is very heavy pen. It is made of metal. However, I am neither Catholic nor Irish, as the person who gave this to me was in fact both. I will say it is a very nice pen. Heavy weight in the hands, which always feels good. Very robust. This pen, at some point, I ended up breaking. As you can see, it no longer clicks. So we'll just have to look at the design aspect of this one, and not the clicking action. This is an unusual pen. It is a twist action pen, but you'll notice there's a cap on the end. See, this twist action pen, when you remove the cap, reveals a highlighter. Even with the cap off, you can still engage the click action. And there are little pieces coming out that engage with the cap to allow the cap to also click the pen. This is another pen with a very nice grip to it. I like the design of this pen. It feels very aerodynamic. And the grip on this pen is a grid of dots. And similar to the previous pen, the material is the same, and the material does feel very nice. I always like to have a nice feeling grip on the pens I use. We have another pen shaped like a person. You can see the clip is supposed to be his tie or hers, with a little face on top. There is a lot of friction in clicking this pen, and it has a very wide body to grip it. Now this is a very unusual pen. It is shaped almost like a Crayola marker at the tip, but that's not what I want to comment on. What I want to comment on is in this clear section here. See, within this clear section is a toggle that allows you to click and unclick the pen. When the pen is extended, it clicks into this position, and when it is retracted, it clicks down and is pushed outwards. There's a little ledge in the body of the pen that holds the flared base of this pink toggle. There is, however, one fatal flaw in the design of this pen. The slightest tap at the end will result in the pen to retract, and when writing, putting pressure on the pen will cause the pen to retract. So as you write, the pen will retract as it hits the paper. Very little force at all. I like to see innovation in pens. However, that pen clearly cannot do the job. I find it a little ironic. A metal company picked to buy plastic pens. Now this is a very unusual pen. It has a very nice grip to it, very good feel, and a solid click action here. Very smooth. I guess it's not a click action, it's a twist action. Very smooth extending and retracting of the tip. However, you might notice this cap on the end. Why might it have a cap? Well, if we remove the cap, this is not a stylus. This is a button to light up the logo inside the pen. I think this is a wonderful design, very memorable, and overall, a nice design to a pen. My one reservation is that I feel as though the majority of the upper half of this pen may have been reserved for electronics, meaning that the ink cartridge in this pen is both a non-standard size and a smaller size than normal. I do not know this, but that is my suspicion for this pen. Besides that, it makes for a very memorable pen to light up. As we continue through this video, you may notice a number of pens that look very similar to each other. Perhaps they are the exact same design with a different color and a different logo. You may wonder why that is. Well, in researching for this video, to decide what would make a good pen, I'd just like to point out the grip here are these 3 pads, very unusual, and in my opinion, not very effective. Anyway, in researching this video, I came across that you can buy pens in a white label and add your own logo to them. In this case, the Space Force and the Air Force, as you can see, buy their pens in bulk from the very same provider, as these are identical pens. And you can shop the catalog of pens, and so when you receive a pen from a company in the future, you may want to look up a couple of custom pen providers and find the model of pen you were given to see how much did this company spend on their promotional pens. It's a fun little thing to do, to learn the model name and see how much the organization you received a pen from has spent on pens to give away. It could be an indicator of the quality of that company, or it may just be an indicator of the design choices and personal style of the person buying the pen. I hope you can have some enjoyment in looking around and finding what model of pen you've been given. This is a fun pen. This is my favorite person as a pen, or pen as a person. You can see felt top hair, which spreads apart nicely for a place to rest your thumb to click the pen. It makes his hair go in all kinds of crazy directions, which you can then push back up when you want to return this pen into its holder. Very silly face, with a great design for its body. This red, diagonally striped clip holder is his tie. This white section is a white button-up shirt with red pants. They did not need to differentiate the shirt from the pants, and they did not need to make the hair and the tie and the pants all match in color, but they did. And I think that attention to detail is what makes a great pen. So this is by far my favorite person in a pen. The click action is also very smooth. Here we have a souvenir pen from the Marines, and one thing notable about this pen is the tip here. As you can see, they've designed this tip to model the shape of a rifle round. At the very end, this pen sports a similarly sharp tip to the one I showed before, so the writing feel is very, very nice. It has a very sharp tip, where the ball bearing at the very end for the ball point is smaller than the normal size. Makes for a very nice writing experience. Besides that, I think the overall design, aesthetically speaking, is a little over the top, maybe a little gaudy. This was a gift shop pen. The last pen before we move to the next section of the video is a classic glow-in-the-dark ink pen, where the ink inside this pen reacts to the light at the tip of the pen, or in the cap, allowing you to write invisible messages to your friends, or maybe your allies if you are fighting a war, or for whatever reason you have to send invisible secret messages. This is a classic of school book fairs. I believe this is where I received that. And this is a classic childhood pen. I hope everyone has the experience and joy of writing a secret message to your friend after going to the book fair. Next up, a collection of pens. This is my color collection. They are all the same pen, so I will only hold and show one. Very nice click action. Very solid, average, reliable. The grip, again, reliable, average, nothing much to comment on. Very nice metal grip here. You can see this is a zebra pen. That is a common brand of promotional pen. And we have this wide array of pen colors to choose from. And so, here we go. We'll display them all nicely for you. This is my set of colored gel pens. The next set of pens I'm going to show you are what I call the Bic sticks. These are Bic pens non-clicking action or twisting action. And they're pretty classic all around. So this is the Big Round Stick M. I only have one in black and one in blue, believe it or not. These are some of the most universal pens. You'll see them just about everywhere. The cap comes off to reveal the tip, which you write with. These are very cheap and very common for businesses to use. Next, we actually do have some twist action pens. These are again Bic pens. These pens will twist out to extend the tip, and then twist again to retract it. Really, in this pen, it is in fact the body of the pen that spins and is extending and retracting. So to extend the tip of the pen, really you have to retract the body of the pen, as the cartridge is attached to the cap. You could also hold the body and twist the cap. And we have it in two colors. There's a variety in blue as well as black. As you saw, these pens can get stuck if they're not used regularly. But that is the Bic twist action. Next up, another classic Bic pen. Let's see if I can put these down without mixing them up too much. Oh, this is another of the twist actions. Not sure how that got in there. I believe that this is another Bic pen. You can see the Bic logo here. A little bit nicer than the standard business pen. I think the design is a little bit better and nicer to write with overall. This hexagonal body to the pen means that it won't roll away when placed on the table. I will note this is also a feature of having a clip on your pen. A clip will also prevent your pen from rolling away. Besides that, it is a very reliable pen, easy to use, and a very clean design. It also has a blue variety. Next up are some very standard pens. These 5 are true red pens, though I will note they do not write in red ink. These pens all sport a cylindrical tip, very unusual. As you can see, this pen hasn't even been used yet, still displaying its protective covering at the tip. These are very nice pens, very easy to use. These 3 are very similar, although, oh, this is another true red. These 2 are not that brand of pen, but they're quite nice to use. This is another sharp tip pen, and so you can see, as I tapped the end, the ink flows quite easily from this pen, which is very nice. Leads to very solid lines as you write, This pen, normal tip, overall, pretty average. These pens are quite useful. They're a little bit nicer than the classic Bic stick, and I think a little more difficult to use, as you have to remove a cap and place it back on. I guess that goes for the Bic sticks as well. I do prefer a click action pen. Finally, we come to my favorite 7 pens. These are the best pens in my collection, and I will show you off to them in no particular order. First is this pen. It writes in black ink. It has a very nice clicking action, a cylindrical tip, and it features these 3 pads that have been cut out from the grip, which allow you to rest your middle finger, your index finger, and your thumb on a larger surface area. This is a very nice feature. You can see there's more grip on these areas, and it means that the pressure of holding the pen is distributed over a wider area. When you hold a perfectly cylindrical pen, the force is concentrated at the very top of the curve, right in the middle of where the finger meets the pen. However, with these flattened sections, it distributes the force, so if you are writing for a long period of time, it is much more comfortable to hold a pen like this. Next, a very nice twisting pen. Very smooth twist action. You can barely hear it, if at all. Very solid pen, nice and heavy, which means it has a good feel in the hand as you write. You can control the pen well. There's this nice asymmetric cut at the top, and again for the clip. Gives it a little bit of unique stylistic flair. Besides that, it has a very good grip and a very smooth twisting action. Next up, a Sharpie gel pen. Yes, Sharpie is quite dominant in the permanent marker industry. However, they do make all kinds of writing utensils, and I do quite enjoy their pen. Their pen features a sharper tip with a smaller ball bearing. As we've discussed before, it makes for a very nice writing feel, almost like the pen is cutting through the paper as you write. It leaves behind a very fine line, and I really do enjoy writing with this pen. It also has a very unusual grip, a little bit more solid than other grips, and this very odd, almost barber pole twist to the traction lines that are cut into the grip. Besides that, the click action, very smooth, very little resistance, and a very nice, clean design overall. They come in different colors. I would have preferred maybe a black or a dark blue. However, this light, almost sky blue, maybe even lighter, is actually quite pleasing to look at, and I do enjoy. Next, believe it or not, I have a Bic stick. This is a click action Bic pen, and the reason that I pick this pen to be part of the top 7 is that overall it is a very simple pen, and it is a very reliable pen. The cartridge that this pen takes is the standard size and shape, which means any of the pens I've shown before can be used to fill this pen should it run out of ink, and it means buying replacement cartridges can be done in bulk and very cheaply. Besides that, this pen is very easy to use, easy to write with, and the design overall is very aesthetically pleasing. It is a very calm design. It is not loud, right? It can sit on your desk and do its job. It is almost as utilitarian as a pen can get, and it does its job very well. Next we have a wider pen. Overall, I like writing with smaller, thinner pens. However, this pen and this previous twist action pen, they are a little bit on the thicker side, but they both have a very nice heavy feel to them, which makes it very nice to write with. This pen has a very powerful click action, which feels very nice in the hands, and I believe a metal body. Overall, it's a very nice pen. The grip is actually etched into the body, and it makes for a very solid, robust pen to use. Next, a nice, very thin pen. I do not see any logos on this pen, so I'm not sure where I got it. But it's a very thin pen, and it has a very nice, quick twisting action, a very clean design, right? Its thin body leads it to look very sleek. It's very easy to use. This small body of the pen means it's quite comfortable to write, because it's almost like you're not holding a pen at all. Right? Your hands naturally rest like this. You can just tuck that pen in there, and it's quite comfortable. Finally, a classic in the pen world. This is a Parker Jotter. The click action does take more force than usual, but it is very smooth and very solid. You can feel the whole pen engage and disengage. It has this very nice clip to it, shaped like an arrow, and when in your pocket, it'll only show the top half of the pen. Let's see if I can get it all in frame. Which is nice and metallic, looks very classy. Feels very nice to hold, has a nice weight in the hands. It's a very clean design. This pen is quite reliable. You may see it in movies or TV shows, as it is a classic pen, or perhaps in a corporate office. It's a very nice pen. The inkwell is refillable and much wider than usual. As you can see with this see-through Bic pen, the standard cartridge size is about a half, maybe a third of the body of the pen. However, in the Parker Jotter, the ink cartridge fills up the large majority, maybe 80% of this body in diameter. Besides that, the clicking is very powerful, and it writes incredibly well. Overall, one of my favorite pens. Thank you for watching the video today on all of my pens. I hope you enjoyed some of this analysis. Here are the top 7 again, all laid out together. I hope you guys have a good day and enjoyed this video.